All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be taking a look at the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic Watch. And one of the very first things I noticed right when I unboxed this is that this watch came in this plastic zippered sports case, whereas watches that I've purchased from a watch shop, like a brick and mortar shop, come in a wooden box. And I'm just wondering if this is something that online retailers do, maybe to reduce shipping costs. I'm not exactly sure. If anybody has, some idea of why they ship with one and not the other, or if you've had an experience where you purchased an online watch and got the wood box, leave me a message in the comments. I'm just curious. I love the watches. I just wonder about, how they decided how they make these decisions around their shipping and which box comes with which watch. And it doesn't seem to be about price either. So we're going to unwrap this new watch of mine. This is, again, the Khaki H70535531, which has a black dial. It's the inverse of one of my very favorite watches, the Khaki Field Mechanical 6952993. And I love that watch. I've worn it a lot. It's very high in my rotation for my watch collection. And really, as we kind of pull all the stuff off of this watch, get all the stickers and protective films off, kind of walk through really what I liked about this watch and why I was looking specifically for this watch. This watch has a day-date complication, which I needed. I loved the kind of like that faux patina, almost radium style indices color around the edge of the dial. What I didn't really care for was this watch strap. I had seen this watch strap when I'd gone to some watch shops and just felt it, and I wasn't impressed. It felt thin. It just didn't seem robust. Now, it has to be thin because it's a NATO style strap and it's got to fit between the spring bars and the case. So I knew it wasn't going to be the strap for me, so I went online and I found Archer straps. I bought it on Amazon and I got it on Prime. It showed up the next day. And it arrived just before my watch did. However, I have another strap, and I'm 100% sure I'm going to buy it. It's by a company called Red Rock, and they make custom canvas watch straps. And I ordered one from Etsy. They are beautiful straps. You'll see it here in a moment. It's actually on my Khaki Field Mechanical watch. And these straps are easy to replace, right? So I'm just going to pull the spring bars off and pop the new straps on. The Archer straps aren't super thick. They're not, they're not like, amazing straps, but they'll work. So I'm just going to pop the spring bars off and then throw these Archer straps on. I'll set my spring bars in my little container of spare spring bars, and these just pop on real nice and easy. I will definitely be ordering the Red Rock straps. However, they take a couple of weeks to be custom made and shipped. So I will wear these straps until my Red Rock strap shows up. In fact, this is the Red Rock strap. This is what's on my Khaki Field Mechanical. It's a very stout, very thick strap. And I love it. It's great. It just feels substantial. It feels tough. It's made from old canvas bags and rucksacks and stuff. So we're going to take a look actually at these two watches because they're so similar. This is the Hamilton H70535531, which is an automatic movement. I am winding it right now just to get it started, but it's automatic, so it's just going to wind that mainspring as I walk around. My other watch here to the right, that's my mechanical watch. It actually has to be hand wound. That's the H70535531, and that watch has to be hand wound every day. And I put about 25 to 30 winds on it. And if I go too far and there's like an overwind protection, it stops. So I just really liked the look of the dials on both of these watches. I just appreciate the numerals, and I like the size. A 42 millimeter watch just sits really nice on my wrist. Now, there are two totally different movements. The automatic uses the H30 movement, and the mechanical uses the H50 movement. So two very different movements, but the idea behind these two watches is just to have like a very simple, easy to read field watch. Now, the one of the things I've noticed just in the couple moments that I've had it is that while I assumed they were identical dimensions, they wound up not being. They both have the 42 millimeter case at the 10 and the 4 o'clock position, but when I started measuring the other dimensions, like for instance the lug-to-lug dimensions, this one came in at 51.5 millimeters. And I thought, okay, well, it's not going to be like earth-shattering. It's going to be 51.5 millimeters on this other watch too. Until I went and I measured it. And I thought, odd. Maybe this is operator error. So I measured it multiple times, thinking, gosh, I've been using calipers for a very long time, and somehow I'm screwing this up. And it got me thinking, wait a minute, one is a mechanical and one is an automatic. Even though they have the same dial and they have the same case diameter, why wouldn't they have different case measurements? They're completely different cases. So first of all, you'll notice that one has, the kind of this stainless steel brushed finish, and then it's got a 20 millimeter watch strap for these lugs. And then I'm like, oh, the other one's 22 millimeters. Like right after that, I should have just remembered that because I literally just bought the new strap for the automatic, and it was a 20 millimeter. So 20 millimeter and a 22 millimeter, that should have told me right away that these cases are different. And then, if you think about it, the depth, the thickness of a mechanical watch versus a watch with an automatic movement is going to be different. So it's coming in at just over 12 millimeters on the automatic, and it's about 9.9 or 10 millimeters on that mechanical movement, because the automatic's going to have some more pieces to it. Has to be thicker because it's got that rotor on the inside that's going to be spinning. So of course they're going to be thicker. Now again, the mechanical movement, the watch with mechanical movement also has a different water resistance rating. So this watch is only coming in at 5 bars. Now here's the thing, I'm not going to take a field watch swimming or scuba diving or snorkeling, any of that. Probably wouldn't even take it kayaking, to be honest. However, on the automatic, it's got a 10 bar water resistance. So now that got me wondering about maybe they've done something with an O-ring on that crown and post. Again, they're field watches. I'm not taking them swimming. I'm not going to be getting them very wet. So now I start thinking about, some of the things I don't really care about on my mechanical watch, and some of the things I do really appreciate about this new automatic. And the first thing that comes to mind is the loom. This is the loom shot for my mechanical watch. As you see, the indices have very little loom. The hour, the minute, and the second hand have some loom, but but then there's tiny little pips. In fact, it's so hard to even get the camera to focus on. There's so little loom there that in the dark it's hard for my camera to see it. Now, when I contrast that with my new automatic watch, wow, that's a huge difference. The numerals have loom, it's bright, it's easy to see. The second hand, however, does not have any loom on it. So that second hand actually has a painted red tip on the second hand, which looks really nice in the daylight. You just can't see it in the dark. So now I start to ask myself the question, is this the watch I should have started out with? I have so many watches. I have 26 watches in my collection. And a lot of these watches are field watches, just very similar to this. I have Seiko, I've got the Citizen, I've got modded Seikos, I've got Aviate. I've got so many field watches, but none of them really press the buttons that I needed them to press like this watch. So this watch has a day date. This watch has the black dial. It has the white numerals. It's got a sapphire crystal. It uses an automatic movement. It's got all these things I had just been looking for, and I have to ask myself the question, is this the watch that I should have started with? Should I have looked harder? Now, one of my first field watches was that white dialed Hamilton, the one I've been talking about, and I really, really liked it, but it didn't have a day-day complication, and I really needed that day-day complication. The other watches I have, some of them have the black dial, some of them have a brown dial, and I have one with a brown dial, a Hamilton, that I just love the color on. Problem is, it has really nice, also light brown numerals, and I just can't read it. Part of the reason is just right here, it's the Hamilton anti-reflective coating. Hamilton, I don't know why, but none of the field watches I've bought from Hamilton have much in the way of anti-reflective coating. So in certain lighting, if you don't have that super, contrast, it's difficult to read the time. And while I love my my other Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic in brown, it's just super hard to read. The brown letters on the brown dial just make it difficult. But this, even without the anti-reflective coating, I can read it. It's legible. And, I wear glasses and I need large numerals so I can see it comfortably. I also have an 8-inch wrist, so a nice large watch works on my arm. And this watch, I think it's going to work. The more I think about it, the more I think I just have to accept that I've spent a lot of money on a lot of watches that I didn't need. Don't tell my wife, please. This watch is the one. This watch is going into the rotation, and now that I'm kind of editing my video here, I've had this watch for a while, and it's comfortable. I still have the same strap on it, and I'm enjoying it. I will be ordering that other strap, and this watch so far has replaced all my other watches. I've got some nice watches. When I go diving, I won't take this diving. I have dive watches. I have tool watches designed specifically for diving. When I need a chronograph, I'll wear my chronograph watches. But this watch, just for daily wear, this is the watch for me. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button and give us a like. Thank you so very much for watching, and have a great day.